Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much for tuning in to my super chat. I cannot do these live streams without you, ladies and gentlemen. And in August, starting August 1st, I'm going to be doing 4 segments on H.A. Goodman, and I'm going to do 4 segments on the stock market crash channel and the nuclear confrontation channel, which is going to be focused on geopolitics and foreign affairs and foreign policy. And it used to be the Bitcoin crash to 10,000. Bitcoin will crash to 10,000, but I'm going to do more of those segments on the stock market crash channel. So I'll have 3 channels that I'm really going to grow. We're almost at 200,000 subs on this one, so hit subscribe. I can't do this without you, ladies and gentlemen, so your super chat support is greatly, greatly appreciated. Before we get to the Durham probe special counsel, because there are 5 counts. He's convicted under 5 counts, Danchenko, the Steele Dossier subsource, for lying to the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Durham will get 1 of the 5 counts, okay? He'll get a conviction in October of 1 of the 5 counts, okay? Sussman got off because it was 1 count of lying to the Bureau, and nobody believed that people at the Federal Bureau of Investigation were duped by Sussman because they wanted to go after Trump. There's a difference between being deceived into investigating Donald Trump or siding with the Democratic Party to investigate the political rivals of Democrats. So, Lying Dogface Pony Soldier, hello. Sir Felix, hello. Greg, hello. Eric, hello, Kristen, everybody here, hello. So, the reason that he lost the Sussman trial, he didn't get the conviction. Actually, there was a lot of information found. It was a successful trial in that it was the first time ever in a court of law that 2 people within Clinton's campaign pointed the finger at Hillary and actually stated under oath that she had relayed information she knew to be false to media. So all of the, I'll say this in an algorithmically friendly manner, the dis or the miss type of information, the miss or dis type of information that Democrats and media are so petrified about because, impressionable voters, impressionable Americans might believe things about Hunter or Joe or those emails and the 150 suspicious financial transactions showing that the emails were clear violations of the law. They might actually believe that there's corruption within the Democratic Party. That's actually, if there's any corruption within the Democratic Party, Dominic, hello, Gigi, hello. If there's any corruption within the Democratic Party, it has to be a plot by another country, don't you know? The Atlantic told me that. So did James Clapper and John Brennan. But Democrats do not want people to know the truth about them. Now, the truth about Republicans 20 years ago, the Republican Party was the epicenter of corruption with Bush, Cheney, Rumsfeld, and all of those people, the Lincoln Project people, are now embedded within the Democratic Party. So guess where the epicenter of corruption is today? It's within the Democratic Party. We know this because we have a recession. Now, Democrats, Biden, have completely tanked the economy. They had an economy that was rebounding. Okay, that's why 2021 was such a good year. Trump gave mashed potato brains an economy that was on the upswing. Okay, even though Democrats and wonderful, morally superior liberal politicians tanked their state economies like a bunch of imbeciles. They tanked their state economies. They shut down economic activity. And it was the greatest economic sin that in modern history to go ahead and just end economic activity. 22 million people unemployed. The impetus for that, the people who were pushing for that were bureaucrats, experts, media, Democrats. This way they could say, okay, we're going to save you from the calamity we created, because it was a choice. And we don't have to get into it because I want to be, I want to abide by guidelines, YouTube-friendly guidelines and protocols, but they didn't have to do what they did, okay? The U.S. labor force the average age is 41 years old or so. Okay, go look at the numbers from government data on healthy 41-year-olds, and then look at the numbers for people below 40 years old who are healthy. Okay, and look at the vast majority of people who lost their lives to what. Like 80+% of the people who lost their lives to were over a certain age. Okay, and that age was 65. It wasn't 40. Okay, so we can go on forever, but that was a choice to tank the entire United States economy, and it was pushed by Democrats. So what they did was, and this is why there's no coverage on the Durham probe special counsel. This is why you have Democrats who are now allegedly up in the congressional ballot. I just want to show you this. Have you ever seen such nonsense in your entire life? 2022 generic congressional vote. So people aren't going to vote. They're in a recession now. Biden's approval is at all-time lows. They're in a recession, but you mean to tell me, and this is how we know that the polling industry is a public relations apparatus for Democrats, okay, most of the time. Now, you might say, well, you believe the polls that show Republicans are up? Yeah, I do. In the House, for sure. The Senate could be a different story just because you have every single possible advantage for Democrats, from late night to social media algorithms to media in general, every publication, most publications out there. But can you please tell me how The Economist and YouGov have Democrats up 6 in the generic congressional vote? There's no way there's no way they keep the House. That is not going to happen at all. It could be a landslide in the House of 60+ votes, 60+ seats taken from Democrats. It'll easily be 40 seats or so. But the Senate, so the generic congressional vote, I have no clue. I mean, absolutely no clue how you can have Politico and Politico, USA Today, and The Economist. I mean, who are they calling? Who are they? This is why in 2016 the polls were dreadfully wrong. I said Clinton would lose to Trump, and she did. And this is why the polls are dreadfully wrong 2 years ago. It wasn't a landslide. We'll leave it at that. And it took a while to find out who won. And I don't understand. Can you please explain to me how we have an official recession, all because an official recession? Greg Wilson! Jason Maxwell, hello! HA, great voice. Thank you. Thank you, Jason. Greg Wilson, don't have much cash these days. Oh, I appreciate you watching, Greg. I always appreciate your kind words and you watching. But I want to say thanks for always being appreciative for us watchers super chatting. You're a truth warrior. Thank you, HA, so much. Thank you, Greg. Thank you, Greg, for watching. And thank you, Jason. Thank you for the kind words, Greg. Always, I have a great, I am blessed to have an awesome viewership. Really, it's just so awesome. It's so great. Greg, thank you so very much for the kind words, and I appreciate your support. And just you watching is great. Thank you so very much, Greg. Jason Maxwell, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Greg and Jason, thank you for the kind words. And to my super chat, I can't thank you enough. We're going to go into November, ladies and gentlemen, Greg and Jason, and we're going to go in, and the polls, once again, are going to be wrong or skewed towards Democrats. I have no clue. You have the Durham probe special counsel, which, by the way, if the Durham probe got half, not even, if the Durham probe got a quarter, not even, if the Durham probe got 1/10 of the coverage that the Congressional Committee got with Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger, and Trump should sue them. Trump should sue them. This is not, if Trump is getting sued for what happened in January, then he should sue everyone that is trying to investigate him pertaining to what happened in January. Because he had absolutely nothing to do with organizing any criminal activity. We know this because the Federal Bureau of Investigation already cleared him. So we already know that. We already know 2 years ago he was cleared and they found absolutely nothing. Okay? Why isn't? Why is there just okay? We know that. And Greg and Jason, thank you so very, very much. Thank you for the kind words. Um, they're not acting. Kinzinger and Cheney are not acting on behalf of the country. They're acting on behalf of their pocketbooks. They're doing this, and you know that Cheney is being funded by Democrats in Wyoming. Okay, so if Trump can prove that they were given money to go after him, I mean that's a little bit of a stretch. But you don't see this. You don't see this within the Democratic Party. First world. Um, Thank you. I've listened to you since long gone profanity like this, APOC, and you always keep me morally focused. Thank you, First World. Greatly appreciated. That is old school, and I appreciate that. Thank you for watching for so long. Yes, those were fun times. I had a different setup, and I appreciate that. First World, thank you so very much again. Greatly appreciated. Yes, starting August, I'm going to do a lot of work on the Durham Probe Special Counsel. I'm going to do a lot of work on the stock market crash channel, and I'll be doing a lot of work on geopolitics, foreign affairs, and the specter, the nightmarish possibility of a nuclear confrontation, which Biden's foreign policy is getting us close to that, unfortunately. So please be here for the three channels. August 1st, it'll just be like you will hopefully get a whole lot of notifications from all three channels. First World, Jason, and Greg. Thank you, First World. Greatly appreciated. To my super chat, I cannot do this without you, so I appreciate your support. We're in a recession now. Household median real wages. Okay, real wages, according to the Wall Street Journal, last I checked, we're down 4.4%. Let's just go ahead. 4%. Average real weekly earnings fell 4.4%. Okay? Can you please tell me, ladies and gentlemen, how Democrats are favored in the generic poll for midterms when average real earnings fell 4.4%? Democrats would rather, or people who don't like Trump would rather have their earnings fall 4.4% than actually have real earnings up with Trump. Because that's what took place with Trump up until Democrats gleefully tanked the economy. Real earnings were up under Trump. Real earnings are down under Biden. Inflation was down under Trump. Inflation is rampant, runaway at 9.1% under Democrats. And so real earnings, as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, are down 4.4. As I beg for super chat, and I ask, and I'm begging for super chat, but I'm telling everybody, First World, Jason, Greg, thank you so very much. And to my super chat, thank you. Save your money as I beg for a super chat, but it helps me do these segments. Save your money every month. Make sure that you have a little bit of a nest egg. Every single month, save money that you can save. And if you are in a situation, ladies and gentlemen, this is very important. If you're in a situation right now where you're working for a corporation or you're working for somebody who can fire you or lay you off from the job, make sure that at least you have a couple, 2, 3, 4 alternatives that you can call up, send your resume to, or start your own business if you can do so on the side. Or think of starting your own business, start your own YouTube channel, something. Start thinking outside of the box now before, God forbid, there's the possibility that, layoffs might affect you if you're in that position. Because it's going to get worse. See, the average person probably thinks, okay, it can't get as bad as 2 years ago. Yeah, it can. Yes, it can. because this time around, they're not going to be able to give stimulus checks. Okay? And when there's a too big to fail moment, and this is why I started the stock market crash channel last year, and this is why I predicted all of this in September of last year on this channel, H.A. Goodman, and the stock market crash channel. And also I wrote about it in the Federalist. They don't have the liquidity this time around. And too big to fail banks got, hundreds of billions of dollars. Okay, they got trillions of dollars in bailouts. Okay, we don't have we don't have the liquidity right now as a society. The Fed cannot. I mean, they might, but that would cause inflation to skyrocket even further, which would then Steelers freak, don't do that. Which would then hurt the economy even more. See, there's a terrible balancing act. We have, I mean, you could just look really quickly. So we have real earnings down. So then what they do, we have a recession with real earnings down. Then the geniuses at the Federal Reserve, Jerome Powell, and at the Treasury, they said, well, yeah, Yellen, they said, well, inflation is temporary. So they didn't raise interest rates last year when the economy was a lot better. They actually ensured that we'd have a bad economy by not addressing inflation. So they didn't address inflation. And at the same time, they wanted to build back better, which was build back infinitely worse, opposed by the National Association of Manufacturers, the Business Roundtable, the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, and Mashed Potato Brains was getting sued by oil and gas associations and 14 states because of his energy policies. Okay? Now we're raising interest rates into a recession. Okay? You might as well be putting on like a 100-pound backpack as you run a 40-yard dash. It's pretty much what that, I mean, it would basically be the equivalent of of swimming in turbulent waters and then having somebody give you 50-pound weights in each hand. So you're raising interest rates during a recession while real wages are down 4.4% and the economy is contracting, and now you have an issue with mortgages. Now you have an issue with credit card debt. Now you have an issue with the housing market. So when interest rates go up, it's more difficult for people to borrow money, okay? And people are going to buy less cars. They're going to buy less houses. They're going to pay more for credit card debt. Okay, that's a huge thing. The credit card debt is going to be terrible for a great many people. And so you have these problems, ladies and gentlemen, and they're only going to get worse. They're only going to get worse. We are in a very bad time. We're in a very, very bad time in modern American history. We have a very bizarre change. It's not. Crime is up, but you have these obsessions of these linguistic obsessions. I'll just leave it at that. Linguistic, semantics, semantic games. These linguistic obsessions, primarily by Democrats and like people on the left, and it's like that's not really important to the average person. It has nothing to do with like life. I'm not even going to get into it. It's like they talk about privilege. Like you must be very privileged to worry about greetings, how you're greeted, or how you're addressed. And Cyan, hello. I think that it's like we're in a very interesting time where Democrats are actually losing. They're actually losing political influence. They're actually losing a cultural battle right now. And you see this, ladies and gentlemen, like I don't talk about that side of things because I just focus on, I'm not in my 20s or 30s anymore, so I don't really focus on like the social or cultural battles. But I mean, you can look. The Quartering is a great liberal hive mind in the Quartering, and Tim Pool, and Stick Sex and Hammer. Um, there's some great channels. The Quartering is a very good channel. He talked a lot about today about certain remakes and like He-Man, for example. But you have this like this is actually with Disney and Star Wars. Like you see this all over the place. That's why like when I go ahead and look at what's taking place, it's really interesting because the 80s and 90s, pretty much every decade and every time period before this dystopian nightmare of whatever it is that we call a time period, the the prevailing mentality or the way that people communicate, even within like cartoons in the 80s, okay? I have like the original G.I. Joe cartoons, okay? Like the 80s cartoons, not anything, that with like deleted scenes or whatever. It's like anything, if you purchase anything after 2016, just understand that you're probably not going to get the original series of whatever it was, okay? But or the original movie. It's always going to be some kind of like the new Star Wars. If you get like new Star Wars DVDs, there's all these. It's like an abomination. There's all these like extra weird. Even I'm talking about like Star Wars: Return of the Jedi, um, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi. I'm talking about like the original three movies. You get these bizarre like extra scenes and delete. You don't see the part where they've deleted the part where in I think it's the first Star Wars where Darth Vader ends the life of like one of the colonels or you know just through telepathically he loses consciousness telepathically. Anyway, it's not there anymore. Okay, the scene was deleted. But my point is, you can't go back in time and try to remake and redo whether it's He-Man or Star Wars or any type of any 80s cartoon or movie that even like Ghostbusters. You can't there are moments in time where they were a lot more innocent because there wasn't this obsessive, maniacal, apoplectic attempt at teaching or um, trying to manipulate or trying to promote a certain political theory or social theory or vantage point. There really wasn't an attempt in the original two Ghostbusters to like prove any specific social point. It was about fighting ghosts. Okay? It was about four, fun-loving people, men, fighting ghosts. You can't remake that into a modern story that tries to promote a certain political vantage point. It's not possible. It's not going to work. And so it's like, I mean, you see that the Quartering had a great discussion on He-Man, and it's like, and I can go on forever. It's like I love Kevin Smith. I mean, his old stuff is like absolutely amazing. Um, I mean, Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, uh, Chasing Amy, Clerks, Mallrats. He's like amazing. See, like it's interesting because none of those movies would work today. There are I watched all of those movies recently. There are lines in those movies that would be viewed as, oh my god, problematic, controversial, you know, Jordan B. Ever hear of the Mandela effect? This is exactly what I see coming from the left when they're trying to change history. Um, yeah, I did hear about it. I have to uh, kind of refresh my Jordan B. Thank you. Yeah, that's what I was looking for. Jordan B. They're trying to change history. Um, okay. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because thank you, Jordan B. Exactly. That you cannot the 80s and 90s and early 2000s, they were a time period that, or like you could look at the 70s, or pretty much any time period prior to this one. D. Artano Valentino, thank you. Thank you, Jordan B. You're right. And the thing is, when you try to alter history, you try to change and manipulate like you can't take like I have the like old GI Joe cartoons. Okay, so uh I was watching some of them, a couple months back, and I was thinking there are so many quotes, Jordan B, so many lines within the characters that would be viewed. Oh my God, there's storylines that would be viewed as offensive today. Okay, maybe not by the average person, but definitely by the far left on Twitter. Um, So it's like you just there's no way. And the thing is, it's like you had amazing characters. Spawn was a great movie. Aliens was a great movie. You had far greater examples of powerful, strong people of all backgrounds. You didn't have to really look far because there were some great movies, like a lot of great movies. Thelma and Louise, you could just look at a lot of great movies. But it's just interesting. It's like Jordan B. Yeah, I mean, they're trying to, and they do this with comic books also. Um, American Girl, however, like Ghostbusters 1 and 2, evil and anger seem to be abound everywhere. I'm half expecting angry pink goo. Exactly, the slime to be found on New York streets. Exactly, American Girl. I mean, that slime would be bubbling up, especially because of Twitter. Oh my God. Twitter harnesses every negative emotion. Thank you again, Jordan B, as always, and I agree with you. That is a great point. American Girl, every like all this negative emotion is harnessed, especially by social media. Richard, hello. Especially by social media. Social media harnesses negativity. Okay, it's really interesting too because I watch like all different YouTube channels. I have a YouTube channels, but I watch a lot of YouTube channels. Almost every single industry or topic or genre, there's a beef. Like I've been not from my perspective, not my fault. People have gone after me, and I've responded, but there are beefs in every single topic industry. It's kind of interesting. It's kind of interesting. And um it's really interesting how um there there's negativity. There's negativity in like if you um and actually it spawns a lot of time from Twitter. So or Instagram. YouTube there's like a lot less. So you'll have some beefs here and there, but not like Twitter, not like Facebook, not like Twitter. Thank you, Richard. Greatly appreciated. Greatly appreciated. But I was thinking, and to the members of this channel, thank you. To my super chat, thank you. Jordan B, American Girl, thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, I can't do this without you. To my super chat, thank you. Bloom, hello. Um, Bloom Torres, thank you. And so, Jason, hello. Um, but you just can't go back in time. This is the thing, like you have to create your own memories now. If you are a writer or producer, or if you're a famous director, you can't go ahead I mean, there are so many great movies. The Freak! Current administration got rail ton of money. That's right. But rail is absolutely worst thing for the environment. Hypocrite. Purge me not, purge mountain. The Freak, exactly. Exactly. Thank you. They got, well, you got talking about $10 trillion, and the one out of every $5 it was created. They're propping up so much. Here's the problem, the Freak. When layoffs when layoffs happen, and unfortunately, like I tell everybody as I beg for super chat, make sure that you have money saved up and you have another plan or another possibility. If God forbid the corporation you're working for lays you off, if you can start, your own business in what you know in a small, while you're working on the side, um, that that would that could be something that you might want to consider, because I just think that, like with media, and here's the reality, this is the unfortunate reality. The worse things get, the better it is for media. So it's not that like, for example, I don't have a recession proof channel because my channels, like this channel, is directly tied to you could say Democratic Party corruption in a way, or Trump, or politics. But the pendulum is swinging back to endless investigations of the people who try to set up and frame Trump. So the Durham probe, special counsel, these are the types of things that I focus on a lot. We're going to have parallel investigations in the House and the Senate. Already Chuck Grassley found employees within the Bureau willing to testify. So the channel is going to grow. And especially August 1st, I'm just going to go work very hard. It's been a slow month this month on this channel, but August, September, October, then we have November. And it's a huge, huge change. The pendulum will swing back to Trump Republicans, or for the first time, really, to Trump Republicans since Trump defeated Clinton. But really, Trump defeated Clinton all on his own. He didn't really have any support in Congress. He had very little support. And Republicans investigated him. But see, the stock market crash channel will obviously do better, unfortunately, when we see the market crashing even more. And I think it's going to go way below the Dow. Doug, hello. Thank you. Thank you, Doug. But my point is, my channels and my voice is not as recession proof as the Washington Post, the New York Times, MSNBC, CNN, Fox News, The Atlantic, New Yorker, New York Magazine, Rolling Stone, Vanity Fair, Esquire. Aside from layoffs that those industries have, because they experience layoffs, news organizations don't really see the world in the manner that most Americans see the world. Okay, they're reporting on the layoffs. They're reporting on, or they're sensationalizing, 2 years ago. Okay, when they go ahead and say, "Oh, it's too soon to open up. We spoke to experts. It's too soon." They're not realizing that when you shut down economic activity, you're creating a terrible environment where people can't feed their families, work, provide an income, where people then rely on a stimulus check. So they're helping create, and they're helping one political side create an environment where they're trying desperately to, justify the unthinkable, shutting down economic activity. Okay, not paying for rent, and not paying for rent or because you've shut down all businesses. And so it's this very unhealthy cycle. And what takes place is you have media saying, oh my God, if you go outside, you might disintegrate. And we spoke to this expert. Well, what about the experts and the authorities that disagree with you? Those people are bad people. They've committed blasphemy and heresy, and they've been excommunicated. We spoke to the experts who agree with us. John Smith, thank you. Doug! Mel Brooks would never be allowed. Oh my God. Mel Brooks would never be allowed. I mean, Doug, Sam Kinison, Mel Brooks, Andrew Dice Clay when he was starting out. Definitely, Howard Stern wouldn't even have had a national radio show. He wouldn't even have had a regional radio show today. They would have canceled him immediately. And before he turned into like this establishment, this like frightened establishment billionaire, Howard Stern was like the foremost. He was like one of the, like a vanguard, like a person defending the First Amendment. And it's like you have these people now who are like so petrified that their past will come back to haunt them in this Orwellian type of situation we have. I mean, look, I used to listen to Howard Stern all the time on the freeway, just in the car. Sam Kinison, love Sam Kinison, love Mel Brooks. Don Rickles, love Don Rickles, love Don Rickles. They couldn't exist today. Lenny Bruce, love Red Fox. Love Red Fox, LaWanda Page, love them. Love Richard Pryor. Love George Carlin. Love Richard Pryor. But imagine if they did what Dave Chappelle did, which they would have. Definitely Sam Kinison would. Definitely. Definitely. Okay? There would be protests. There were protests when Sam Kinison was alive. He's one of the all-time greats. John Smith, thank you again for the kind words. I mean, I love Don Rickles. I love Mel Brooks. But Sam Kinison wouldn't be allowed. I mean, you basically have a society today that does not allow the most hilarious people to exist. American Girl! I used to work in media. They thrive on misery. They do. Exactly. Even back in the day, everything happens today is a dream to media. If it bleeds. Exactly. American Girl. Thank you. They do thrive on it because you know why? Now, you know better than me, but they profit from it. They profit from sensationalized, salacious coverage. They profit from condemnation, judgment. And look, CNN slithered towards the Bush administration. They did the same. They were like pro that administration. They were just as far up the Bush administration's rear corridor, let's say, as they are now with the Democratic Party. They see different. Archie Bunker. Archie Bunker wouldn't even be allowed to be like, it wouldn't be on the air today because it would be too offensive. Christopher Hitchens, I love Christopher Hitchens, right? He was fantastic. He was amazing. He was so charming. His wit, his charm, he was so eloquent, and he was able to, with his personality, I mean, he would be viewed as a monster today. Christopher Hitchens, one of the greatest writers and thinkers in modern U.S. history, world history, okay? He would be viewed as an absolute monster today by the morally superior, highly educated, not just by many conservatives too, but definitely by the left and liberals. Okay? Caddyshack, yes! That's a great movie, Caddyshack. It's like There's so many. We live in a society today, in a world today, where the most the most talented among us. Well, actually, there's some really good political awaken. Hold on. Awaken with JP is hilarious. Okay. Um, Ryan Long is hilarious. So Awaken with JP, Ryan Long. There's some really good. Oh no. Oh my God, we managed to go 40 minutes. Wow, we managed to go 40 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. Jonathan Winters was great. We managed to go 40 minutes without the internet connection going bad. Oh man. But yeah, I mean, please log on. But yeah, um, so a lot of things like you can't go ahead and you can't go into the past and try to relive the past because that moment in time was a moment where you didn't have politics as omnipresent. Politics in the 80s, 90s, early 2000s, maybe the early 2000s a little bit different, but not really. Um you didn't have politics everywhere. It wasn't ubiquitous. Um it wasn't like like late night wasn't obsessed with what is this stuff you see Jimmy Kimmel or you see Chelsea Handler reading a script, just like reading a script disparaging Trump and Republicans. Like, did you turn on the DNC, some kind of DNC recruitment video or campaign fundraiser? Are you watching late night? Like, when did late night turn into the Democratic Party's attempt at bothering people, annoying people in the evening? Can you not have a vacation? There's no respite. There's no vacation. JG, hello. Um, JG, hello. There's no what is going on? Oh no, it's happening again. Okay. Okay. Um, there's no you can't take a vacation from it. It's everywhere. And here's the issue. When Trump defeated Clinton in 2016, he did so despite media circling the wagons, uh, in unison, saying he was going to, end life on this planet. And, now they realize that if they don't harness everything from social media algorithms to Democrats, because it's really a political party thing. People don't realize that. People don't realize this is about politics. It's not about like how society is changing. It's about politics. If you don't have almost every single publication obsessed with Trump, like the Rolling Stone and Vanity Fair, Esquire, Vice, um, The Atlantic, like Stone and Esquire would have a different viewpoint than the New Yorker or New York Magazine or The Atlantic. They would have, oh my God, sorry about that. It's happening again. No. It is sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. It's happening again. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. We might shut it down in a couple of minutes. Sorry about that. Can you hear me all right? Can you hear me okay right now? Can you hear me okay, ladies and gentlemen? Thank you, JG. Thank you. Steelers, hello. Ah, no! They're kicking me off again. All right. Okay, good, good, good. Insubordinate, hello. Jordan B, hello. Okay. Um, so Steelers freak, hello. Um, so what was I saying? I don't even know what I was saying. What was I saying? I can't relive the past. What was I saying? Well, let's see. Um, American Girl, you are 100% right. I mean, it's like that's why, there are a couple of old DVD stores in Southern California that I go to, and you get these old DVDs, and you can get like, Lord of the Rings or um Ghostbusters or E.T. Or um you can get like all of these great movies that haven't been tarnished by the maniacal new apoplectic uh, political or social ideology. And it's just like you can see the movies for what they were. Like you can enjoy exactly how hilarious they were. Doug! You'd be a hit in the normal US milieu. It's leftism that pushes imbecilic parrots on us. Exactly. Thank you, Doug. Thank you so very, very much. Thank you, Doug. Yeah, and that's also, Doug, that is a consequence of that is also a consequence of um oh, American Girl, thank you. That's also a consequence of social media algorithms. Okay. Like Twitter, for example, they didn't want Elon Musk to purchase it, but the reality is now they're suing Elon Musk, and Twitter amplifies absurd viewpoints. Or they amplify hopes and dreams of the left. Like Medicare for All is a great example. So, Doug, great point. Medicare for all of these left-leaning pundits gravitated to it, and I thought, look, if it could work, if it was feasible, it'd be fantastic. It's not feasible in a country of 320 million people. It's just not. You'd have to double the triple tax collection, and the Green New Deal is not feasible. Look, I mean, Biden went from executive orders against oil and gas companies to now flooding the country full of strategic petroleum reserves. So, um, oh, and I agree with you, Richard. I agree with you. He will own Twitter. Elon Musk is going to buy Twitter. He's just going to buy it for $10 billion less or $5 billion less, something like that. So he'll just buy it for 3 or 4 or 5 or $10 billion less. But there used to be a time where you would have very a wide range of viewpoints. Rolling Stone was never historically like Hunter S. Thompson used to write for Rolling Stone. I don't think he could write for The Atlantic today. Or, Christopher Hitchens used to write for Vanity Fair. I don't think he would be writing for Vanity Fair today. So, I mean, it's like if you're in your 40s or older, if you just have to be in your 40s or older to understand the world has taken a turn, you know, uh, towards has taken a plunge into a gigantic toilet, a gigantic, uh, I don't even know, like Orwellian dystopian nightmarish world. if you're in your 40s and older, maybe even late 30s, you can kind of you can remember a time when nobody was really offended over anything. Now people are offended over everything. And politics was never a huge part. Politics is not a huge part of who I am, as in it's what I do for my work. It's my YouTube channel, and I mean, my YouTube channels. Hopefully, I'm going to grow those two channels starting August. But this is not JG. Hi Caroline, hello. Uh, exactly, hi Caroline. Um, Politics seems to be this moral crusade. They've done away. See, this is the problem. Society in general, especially the left, especially Democrats, they've done away with any concept of God. So their God is social media. Their God is acceptance. Jordan B. Jordan B. I have slowly been going green with solar, rain, catchment, veggie gardens, but mostly because I did not trust my state in providing these necessities. No, that's good. I mean, nice. Yeah, I mean, to be self-sufficient, Eric talks about that all the time. Um, Eric also gardens, Eric H526, Jordan B, that's good. Yeah, I mean, if you can be self-sufficient, if you have, I think it's good to kind of stock up. Nothing wrong with having, cans of food that'll last, a couple of years, in case, God forbid, you need them. There's nothing wrong with that. I think that's a good idea, especially in this time period. Um, and if you have a veggie garden and you can grow, Jordan B, Eric, everybody here, tomatoes. Thank you, Jordan B. Greatly appreciated. I can't, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully, oh no, come on, don't log people off. No. Nice. JG. So, yeah, I mean, now you have, oh my God, what is wrong with this? It's almost, if you get kicked off, ladies and gentlemen, log back on. We'll have 8 more minutes or so. Uh-oh. Yeah. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. So, um, the power goes out. So anyway, it'll be very interesting. I mean, you're gonna see the House. All you need is the House, because then you'll get impeachment. I mean, the Senate. That would be awesome to have Republicans run the Senate. I think that they will, because you will have investigations in the Senate. But we're gonna have an economy that's gonna tank the next couple of months, not getting any better. So I think, ladies and gentlemen, last couple of minutes, I will say this. And Jenny, hello. I will say this. There's a chance. I'm not expecting it. I'm not predicting anything. Again, I'm not predicting anything. There's a chance that Democrats are so desperate they get Garland to indict Trump, because that is the only way they stop him. Now, that doesn't mean he committed a crime. That means that the only thing that that means is that they would indict or try to prosecute somebody who is innocent, just like they indict Trump is innocent. Any allegation that they level against him is so absurd and nonsensical. It's unbelievable. Oh, he knew. He knew. Well, did Clinton know that she was transferring top secret intelligence? It was her servers. By the way, I want a Hillary Donald Trump 2024. I want a Hillary Clinton Donald Trump 2024. Obviously, I think Trump's going to win, but I think the country needs that to heal from 2016. Because we got mashed potato brains. Democrats were somehow they prevented Clinton from running in 20. Amazing Colonel, thank you for watching. But yeah, Bob Newhart was great. He was great. Okay, you know what? I think we're gonna head on out, ladies and gentlemen. This is a little bit weird. We were doing pretty good for 40 minutes. American Girl, it would. Here's the issue. I don't think that they care if Trump wins a trial. I think what they'll try to do is get the most biased DC jury possible with the most overwhelming media coverage. And they could possibly indict Trump to try to knock him out, which, by the way, would backfire. Because you might get a stronger candidate in Trump, which would be a bizarre occurrence, and you could get DeSantis, would be another political obstacle, a huge political obstacle. Now, I don't know. I wouldn't put it past them to indict an innocent man because they set up and framed an innocent man. Trump did not do the things he's accused of. He's never done the things he's accused of. Hunter, Hillary, Joe, they did do the things they're accused of. We know from their emails. We know from their actual emails and from their servers and from their videos and voicemails that are, pretty horrendous. But again, I want a Hillary Clinton, Donald Trump 2024. I think that the Clinton people should start talking about a Hillary Trump 2024. I think it's time. We need that. That would be absolutely hilarious, but it's something that I think that Democrats wouldn't care. They would just vote for Hillary because Democrats are born to vote for whomever they're told to. But anyway, hit subscribe, ladies and gentlemen. It's been fantastic. Sorry about the stream is going well for about 45 minutes or so. But everyone here, to my super chat, everybody, I cannot thank you enough. Eric, JG, Richard, everybody here, American Girl, Jordan B, thank you so very, very, very much, everybody. I will be back. I should be back. Maybe I might not do one tomorrow, but I'll do one Saturday. But subscribe, ladies and gentlemen. August 1st, I am really going to do my best to give you a lot of content on, this channel, the stock market crash, and the nuclear confrontation channel. So